welcome again to another lesson. We are to study science basic 5. We are still on humans and the environment and still on HIV/AIDS. We want to continue what we study. We are learning to describe the effect. So after the lesson, we are learning to describe the effects of HIV or AIDS and then state some preventive measures for HIV or AIDS. After that, we explain why it is safe to live freely with HIV or AIDS patients. Take this one as our starter based on what we studied previously. What does AIDS stand for? What does AIDS stand for? Okay, quickly. AIDS stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. That is good. We want to talk about the effects of HIV or AIDS patients. If someone is positive of AIDS, what are some of the effects that a person will be suffering from? So we say HIV/AIDS has several effects on people who have it. Some of these effects are: 1. Feeling of tiredness all the time. Feeling of tiredness all the time. So we see that the affected person will be feeling tired always. It's like always the person is tired. Another thing is what? Excessive loss. So 2, excessive loss of weight. You see, since your immune system cannot fight against any disease again, you see that you weaken gradually, so you'll be what? You'll be draining. You'll be loss of what? Weight. Your weight will be reducing. Another one is what? Prolonged diarrhea. Prolonged diarrhea. You see that since your immune system cannot fight against any other disease, if the diarrhea affects you, it will not be cured again. It will not be cured again because your immune system is weakened and it can't fight against any disease that will attack it. So what will happen? You'll be having the diarrhea all the time because since your immune system cannot fight against it again. Another thing is what? Prolonged fever. You see that when you are having fever too, it will prolong. It will not be cured. It will not be what? Cured because of what? Your immune system. Number 5, repeated attacks of boils. Repeated attack of what? Boils. So small time, you see that there will be boil over at some of your parts. There will be boils at some of your parts because of the immune system. Because the immune system happens to fight against any disease. It produces antibodies that fight against diseases. So if that immune system is weakened, what will happen? If the boil comes, small time, another one will come again. So you see your armpit boil, your other parts boil. So it repeated attacks of boils. And that one, number 6, white spots in the mouth. White spot in the mouth. So your mouth too will be there will be white spot in your mouth. Number 7, hard and dark skin lumps. Hard and dark skin lumps. Because of the boil, you'll be having hard and dark skin lumps. 1 is 8, tuberculosis, pneumonia and other diseases as a result of the breakdown of the immune system. As we said previously, that the immune system happens to produce antibodies or antibiotics that fight against diseases or germs that enter into our body. So if your immune system is weakened, that means it's down. It can't fight against any disease that happen to affect you. That's why we have to find a way of preventing the HIV/AIDS. So how can we prevent HIV/AIDS? The next thing we want to study. So prevention of HIV/AIDS. Abstinence from sex Abstinence from what? From sex is for adults, not for children. Being faithful to your wife or husband, your partner. So you have to be faithful as a married person, not the children for adults. So the children, you have to advise your parents in some way. So our parents must what? Must be faithful to their partners, to their wife, and also what? Their husband. So the husband must be faithful to the wife, and the wife must be what? Faithful to the husband. Use of condom if one cannot totally abstain from sex. We are saying this for the adults, not for children. Children, you're not what? To even go closer to the word sex. But for adults, if they know they can abstain from what? Sex, then they have to use condom to protect their sex so that they do not get the HIV virus. Another one is what? Use disposable needles and syringes that are free from HIV virus and also AIDS virus, or the AIDS what? Virus. So needles that we may use, we must use needles that we can dispose it easily. When you use needle, don't put it down for another person because it may what? May pierce you, and the blood, since it can get contact to the blood, and maybe you may be affected or someone is affected with the HIV. If you also use it and it pierce you, what will happen? It will happen that you may be what? You may get the virus. So we are advising that you use what? Disposable needles and syringes. Syringe is what? The one we inject, the doctors used to inject us at the hospital. If you know you go to the hospital, make sure that what the doctor is going to use for you is very new, it's genuine. It's not used by any other person. So make sure that you look at it, you are very conscious of that. Another thing is what? Blood should be screened to make sure it is free from the AIDS virus before it is given to a person who needs blood. We learned that when you are receiving blood that is being affected by the virus, you may also get the HIV/AIDS. So what we are saying here is that you make sure that when you are going to receive any blood, make sure it's being screened. It's screened very well before it will be what? Given to you. So we should be conscious of that when we go to the hospital. We should make sure that our blood that is being donated to us is what? Is screened. People should be educated about HIV transmission. This is your activity that you do at home for me. You have to go out there and educating people based on what we have studied about HIV/AIDS. That people should abstain from what? Sex. People should be faithful to their partners. They should use condom. The adults, not children. For condom for adults, if they know that they can abstain from what? Sex. They should use disposable. This for children. We should use disposable needles. When we are using needles, we should use what? The one we know that is for us, not for someone. So far, and we should make sure that our blood that we receive at the hospital is being screened before we receive them. And another thing we want to talk about is what? Is explain why it is safe to live freely with HIV patients. Explain why it is safe to live freely with HIV patients. We are saying that we can live freely with HIV patients because HIV, for you to get the HIV, you have to get contact to the person being affected, blood. If the blood if whatever you are going to do with the person, the blood will not get contact to you, then you will not be affected. So we can live freely with any HIV patient. We can sleep with them, we can bath with them, we can eat with them. But we should make sure that they don't have any cuts. If they have cuts, don't use the towel with them. If they have cuts, don't eat with them. But if you don't have any cuts on their body, the blood may transmit to you, then you can live freely with them. You can shake them, you can sleep with them, don't stigmatize them. Don't let them be like they are not useful in the environment. But you can make sure you can shake them, you can hug them, you can do whatever you want. But the only thing is, we should make sure that if you know that this HIV person, we should not use their cat object with them. We should not use cat object with them, because if maybe the cat object cuts them and it cuts you, you may also get it. If maybe the adults have sex with the HIV person, they also get it. So the main transmission here is what? By blood. If the blood get contact to you, you may also get the HIV virus. So we should make sure that we stay safe in our environment. We should not do any bad things in our environment, because we know that we children, we have to stay safe from the wet sex. We should make sure we should live freely. We should use disposable needles. That is what is sterilized. That is not being used by any other person. So this means we can stay freely with any other HIV patient, because the only transmission here is what? By blood. What have we studied today? We have studied about the effect of HIV. And we talk about a lot of them. And we studied about the prevention of HIV. We have also learned that you can stay freely with any HIV patient, because the main transmission is what? By blood. So if the blood will not get contact to you, then you will not get affected. I love you all. Stay safe. Goodbye.